Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Educational AD Podcast. We'll be right back with today's guests, but first, we want to give a shout out to our podcast partners. We Coach, the Florida Coaches Coalition, Vital Signs Wall of Fame, and the Global Community of Women in High School Sports. You've heard me say many times because it's true. These are four great organizations. You should really add them to your network. And now, don't hit that fast forward button. Stay with us for the next 3 minutes. We're going to give our sponsors a shout out. These are all great companies that I used as an athletic director. You should be using them too. Here we go. We want to say thanks to Gipper for their support of the podcast. Gipper is the official social media graphic solution for the Educational AD Podcast. And if you go to Gipper.com, their team is going to show you how to start creating world-class marketing content for your school's social media channel. You should be celebrating your teams and promoting your athletes, and Gipper is the easiest and the best way to do it. It's used and trusted by over 3,000 athletic programs across the country, and it's so simple, even I can do it. Go to Gipper.com, mention this podcast, you'll get a nice discount. Gipper.com. We also want to thank our friends at Snap Raise. Are you tired of spending hours and hours with fundraisers that require too much time and lead to little or no results? Well, stop right here and head over to snapraise.com/EDAD. SnapRaise is hands down the best online fundraiser. We used it at our school with tremendous success. Coaches and parents just loved it. And what's more important, it works. At snapraise.com/EDAD, you're going to find info on other great tools in the Snap family, like Snap Manage, Snap Store, and also one called FanX. Head over to snapraise.com/EDAD. Check out their entire suite of products designed to help athletic directors save up to 8 hours a week to do your job better. Also, new and existing customers are entered to win $1,500 in their next Snap Raise fundraiser. That's snapraise.com/EDAD. We also want to say thanks to Home Campus. Go to homecampus.com. They're the official and exclusive state association and high school management platform. It's also your one-stop platform for things like schedules, student-athlete eligibility and clearance, and a whole lot more. As a high school AD, I used Home Campus every day, and it was just great. You're going to love it too. Go to homecampus.com to get started. We also want to say thank you to Vital Signs Wall of Fame. Go to their website and check out their interactive touchscreen video consoles. It's a great way to display your school record boards, your school's Hall of Fame, or simply showcase your school's proudest moments. Mention this podcast, you'll get a nice discount. That's vitalsignswalloffame.com. We also want to thank Huddle. Go to huddle.com and change the way you see the game. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years, and it was just great. But when I became an athletic director, I made sure that our school was a Huddle school, and our coaches just loved the tools that Huddle provided that allowed them to coach at the highest level. Go to huddle.com, see why we believe in sports and teams believe in Huddle. Join the 8 million users. Turn your school into a Huddle school. We also want to thank Hometown Ticketing, the leading digital ticketing provider to schools and colleges. Go to hometownticketing.com. It's digital ticketing that offers more. We also want to thank Sideline Interactive, indoor score tables and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com right now. Schedule a live web demo. See their tables and their boards in action. Their products not only generate income for your department, but they also create the ultimate game day experience for your student athletes. That's sidelineinteractive.com. And we want to thank Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack. Athletic surveys are a quick, easy, and an affordable way for you to collect comprehensive data that allows you to evaluate and improve your entire program. Athletic directors already hear back from the complainers, that 5% that want to gripe about everything. Athletic Surveys connects you to the 5%, but they also connect you to the 98% that supports your program. That's a tremendously valuable tool to have when you're talking with a frustrated parent or your principal or your school board. Go to athleticsurveys.com. Let them help you take the pulse of your parents and your student athletes. That's athleticsurveys.com. Welcome back, everyone, to a special edition of the Educational AD Podcast. We've got the return of what I like to call a friend of the show. Emily Daniels is our guest today. Emily was on, I think it was back in season 2, when she was working at an international school in South Korea, was an aspiring AD at the time. Just a great episode. Go back and check it out. For the past going on, I guess, 2 years now, she's back in the United States. We've got her home, and she is a swim coach at Hendrix College, which is in the great state of Arkansas. We want to do kind of an update with Emily, see what's going on, and also let her give kind of a shout out to some opportunities for student athletes for any of our athletic directors and coaches who are listening today. So Emily Daniels, welcome back to the Educational AD Podcast.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me and my head coach, Tony, and on the podcast today. Thank you.
Yep. We've, in addition to Emily, we've got some other special guests. We're going to bring them on shortly. But Emily, give our listeners just a little bit of an update. You made the decision to come back to the United States. How'd you end up at Hendrix? And tell again our listeners exactly what you're doing there.
Yeah. So when I was in the job process and ready to come back to the States, I opened my search to college swimming, and a couple of conversations with Coach Tony and our athletic director here kind of quickly had me sold on coming here. And so I'm the assistant swim coach, and recruiting is one of our biggest responsibilities. And then outside of that, just of course, maintaining our training and our strength and conditioning, and the strength and conditioning coach for our team as well. So just organizing our weights and our dry land program, and helping Coach Tony in the pool, and just keeping our team afloat.
Oh, I love that, keeping it afloat. Now, you were a competitive swimmer in high school and college. You've been coaching swimming for a long time. And for our listeners, you can't see this unless you're watching it on YouTube. Great backdrop of the Hendrix College swimming facility. When you came to Hendrix and now you're back, coaching collegiate swimming, what are some of the changes that you have noticed, maybe since your days as a competitive swimmer?
That is a really good question. I feel like the challenges of balancing being a student athlete and your academics, that's all the same. I think just the technology, just the access to all of the other additional distractions that our student athletes have today that we didn't have as much of
Right.
When I was in college. We only had Facebook, so there was in MySpace, so 2 social media platforms versus 20 that these kids have today, it seems like. And so I think just access to each other and 24/7, and just the screen time, I think, is a lot different. And yeah, I don't know what else would be different. A lot of things are the same. Training's a little bit different. Just some equipment that we use, some of the power equipment we use is a little bit different from what I did back in the day. We didn't have some of the tools that we have now to train our athletes.
Okay. Well, no, obviously technology's had a big impact on all sports, but you and I were talking before we started recording. Sounds like you're very happy, excited to be at Hendrix. You've also got some help today on our podcast interview, the head coach for the swim program at Hendrix. Why don't you go and bring Tony in? I'm going to let you introduce him.
Okay. Yeah. So this is Coach Tony Marleneanu, and this is his 6th year here at Hendrix. And it's been a pleasure working with him and learning from him the past year and going into this season.
Well, Tony,
Yeah.
thanks. I was just going to say, thanks for coming in and spending time with us. Um, Emily mentioned it's your 6th year at Hendrix. Give our listeners a little bit of your backstory. What brought you to Hendrix? What's some of your background as a swim coach? And then we're going to get into the program itself.
Yeah, so thank you guys for having me on this podcast. I'm originally from Romania, so I grew up in Constanța, Romania, which is a city on the Black Sea in Romania, and I grew up around the beach. So my parents put me in swimming. I got stuck swimming because I love the sport and I was pretty competitive. And made it to nationals, some international meets back in Romania, and then one of my teammates ended up swimming at Iowa University. So I started learning about swimming in the United States and studying in the United States. So I ended up under a swimming scholarship at Henderson State University in Arkansas, which is like an hour and 30 minutes south from Hendrix, Division II school. I was mainly a breaststroker, did some IM as well. And after I graduated, I started coaching. I started with club coaching. And then in 2012, me and my wife moved to Little Rock area and start coaching a club here at the pool that we are right now at Hendrix College. And after a few years of being the head coach of the Aqua Kids swim team here in Conway, the Hendrix job came open, and I was ready to go back to college swimming, and been the head coach since 2018. So
there's a lot of great colleges out there, a lot of great programs. What are a couple of things that you've tried to bring to Hendrix that you're particularly proud of that you'd like to share with our listeners?
Yeah, so obviously I'm so happy to have such a nice facility. You guys can see it on the picture here on the background. But it's a retractable roof, and it just gives me that opportunity to see what's going on outside and get some fresh air. So it's a pleasure for me to not only coach in this pool but also swim. So obviously that's a big factor. So, but the community here, it's amazing, So the people that work here, my athletic director, when I was interviewing for this job, it made a big difference in me accepting the job and what I'm building here, to have the support of such a great athletic director that's involved not just in swimming but all the sports here at Hendrix. We have 23 sports here on campus, and she is involved and she wants all of them to be successful. So yeah, it's the people, the community, and the ability to coach and get to meet amazing student athletes. So that's I think that's the highlight of what our program in Hendrix in general is.
Oh, of course, you want to give a shout out to your student athletes. They make the program, and very smart, giving a shout out to your athletic director. We always want to give those ADs some acknowledgement. I know Emily's still sitting right there next to you, so I'm going to put you on the spot. What are some things that she has brought to the program? No, I'm still talking to Tony, but that's okay. What are some things that Emily has brought to the program that, have allowed you to continue to grow and make it an even better competitive experience? What are some things that Emily brings to the table?
Yeah, so Emily's been great with just we have those we call them brainstorming meetings, and we're just trying to come up with new ways to improve our practices for our swimmers. So Emily is taking care of our sprint group and IM group, and also she's the strength and conditioning coach for our team. So her work on those areas have been amazing. This year, I'm super excited to see the new things that we put into our strength and conditioning and the lift that we do here with our groups. And I have already good feedback from our swimmers, and they're excited to see how explosiveness and power. College swimming is all about turns, starts, underwater. So we're trying to implement those into our practices, and also not just in the water, but out of the water. In a gym and also in a weight room. So I think that's one of the highlights. And then also just her experience. It's nice to have somebody that pretty much has the same type of experience that I had. Emily was a Division II athlete. She also had some international experience, with coaching in overseas in Korea. So it was nice. It was nice to have such a good overall knowledge next to me. So.
Oh, no, I'm not surprised at all. I had a chance to get to know Emily a little bit the last couple of years, and just struck me as, very professional, tremendous enthusiasm, off the charts. But she also knows what the heck she's doing. Emily, let's sneak you back in here for a second. You've had an opportunity to work in a couple of different programs, both, national and international. What are some things that you've seen in your 2 years working with Coach Tony that have impressed you about his leadership?
I am impressed with one thing, his ability to remember every kid's times, every event, like every time for every event they swim for every kid. From it could have been at a meet last year, and he remembers it. Every recruit, he remembers their times, their events, like it's ingrained in his brain. Whereas I have to have everything written down and in front of me, and spreadsheets, I have to have it all in front of me. And his ability to just keep all of that in his brain impresses me, because I think that's hard to do. And it's hard for coaches to, when you have a larger team with that many numbers, I think that's a challenge sometimes for coaches to, know every swimmer and every time and every event and every meet, and just having that consistency of that time knowledge for them is, in the middle of practice, he can spit out what time they need. He needs that one individual to be going. And so that's something from him that I really want to learn and get better with myself, because I think that's really impressive. But also just the way that he connects with the kids, with our students. And I think just his personality and just the way that he, gives them feedback, and just the way that he guides them and directs them throughout practice and the meet, and encourages them and gets excited for them. I really like seeing his relationship with the students.
Oh, absolutely. This, building the relationships with those student athletes, that old cliche, they don't care what you know until they know how much you care. And it's a cliche because it's true. And, I think you're okay if you can't remember all those times. I'm sure you've got them on your clipboard. It's another great way to connect. Hey, you're 3 seconds faster than, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, very cool. You also mentioned that you brought a member of the team, one of your student athletes in, or at least one. Is Michaela still in the office? Can you introduce Michaela to our audience?
She is. Yes. Hello.
This is Michaela Llewellyn. She is a sophomore this year from Fayetteville, Arkansas, just a couple hours northwest of us here.
Yes.
And she is majoring in health sciences.
Yes, I'm a health science major with a psychology minor.
Okay. And Michaela, thanks so much for joining us today. What year are you now at Hendrix?
I'm a sophomore.
You're a sophomore. Okay. So you got a little bit of experience. Talk to our listeners, our athletic directors, our coaches that are listening. Why Hendrix? You know, I know Arkansas a little bit. You had a lot of opportunities as far as schools that you could have chosen to gone to. Why did you choose Hendrix? And you know, why are you still there now going on your second year?
Yes, so I'm from Fayetteville, Arkansas, and my house is actually about 15 minutes from the University of Arkansas. And I know my family really wanted me to stay close, and I did too, because I didn't really want to travel too far or anything. So I was like, okay, I'm going to the U of A. But then, but then Coach Tony had emailed my swim coach, my high school coach actually, and was just asking about just like all of our swimmers and see if anyone wanted to swim for Hendrix. And I never really had thought about swimming in college because I was just going to be focused on my academics. But I ended up taking a tour to Hendrix and just absolutely fell in love with it, fell in love with the pool and the community. And it just took off from there. And now I'm here.
Now, going from year one to year two, they talk about, and again, I coached college for a number of years, football and track. We talk as coaches that, you know, that's kind of a challenging year for student athletes as far as, you know, finding their groove academically or continuing hopefully to improve performance wise. I know I'm putting you on the spot here, but how has your year two gotten off? Has it gotten off to a good start?
It's been off to a very good start. Definitely classes have been a challenge because I'm taking a bunch of harder classes than I was last year. And definitely it's just been a lot more studying. It's very much challenged my time management, just balancing practices and being able to go back and have discipline of not being on my phone and just going straight to doing homework. But it's been off to a very good start. I'm doing well in my classes and it's been great.
So fast forwarding, and I know you're a sophomore, but what are your plans right now? Where do you see yourself upon graduation? You know, what sort of career path do you think you might be headed toward?
I haven't really exactly decided yet. I'm planning on using my health science major and psychology minor to do something in that field. I'm doing a marketing project right now. So I've been taking over the Hendrix Swim and Dive social media, and really I've gotten more of a passion for marketing than I have ever before. So I definitely want to incorporate that kind of experience into my degree. But as far as graduate school and what I plan on doing, I still have a lot of decisions to make and don't know yet.
Well, and again, you've got a little bit of time to
I do.
to figure that out. Talking with your coaches before we got started, you've got a big meet coming up here, you know, a rivalry contest. You know, what's the outlook on that?
Well, I'm a backstroker. I'm in some backstroke events, so I'm just gonna go hard at it and see what I can do. Hopefully drop some time if I can.
Well, all the best to you. You know, let's go out there and beat roads. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
I know we're kind of doing single shots here, but Tony and Emily, again, our audience is athletic directors and coaches across the country and in 84 countries around the world. Maybe each of you take a turn. What's something you would like to share with our listeners that they can share with their student athletes about why they should take a look at Hendrix College and Hendrix Swimming? Michaela, we got you on camera right now, so let's go and start with you.
Well, one thing for Hendrix that really pushed me to go to this school is also just their Odyssey program, which is a program where they want their students to just be engaged with the world. So that's 3 credits that you need for graduation. And that can look like taking a theater class and being artistic, or it could look like a study abroad or an internship. So it's just doing those things that really push you to get out into the world. It was something I was really, really interested in. And actually this marketing project that I'm doing is an Odyssey credit. So that was one of the things that really pushed me also to come to Hendrix, as well as swimming.
Well, that sounds like a really cool program. Tony, let's have you jump in next, and then we'll finish up with Emily. What's one more thing or two more that you'd like to share with our listeners about why Hendrix?
Yeah, so I will go to the professors that we have here on campus. It's obviously as a student athlete, it's important to have professors that spend a lot of time with you. So Hendrix, has small classes. When it comes down to your major, the classes in your major, the ratio is 1 to 11. So the professors have lots of time to get to know their students and actually help them understand or help them get to the level like masters or we have a great pre-med department here, so lots of students that come through our program and also through the Hendrix, they want to get into med school. So how can you get into med school? And that's very important, I think. And for example, we have Michaela here that one of her professors is going to come watch her swim this weekend, because that's how our professors are. They want to get to know their students, not just in the classroom, but also like, hey, you're a swimmer. When are you swimming? You have a meet this weekend? Well, I'm going to come over and watch you. So I think that's special. It's not just like come to class and you don't get to you engage with your professor that much. So
that's also a testament to you and your coaches and your student athletes that the professors want to engage. That's all about building culture. It sounds like you've put together a great culture there at Hendrix. All the best this weekend against your rivals and for the rest of the season. And, thanks for sharing with us today on the podcast.
Thank you so much.
Emily, let's go ahead and wrap up with you, my good friend. All right. You're the recruiting coordinator. You're talking to some athletic directors and coaches. They've heard from a student athlete. They've heard from the head coach. What can you add to our listeners to kind of continue to whet their appetite? Why should they find out more about Hendrix College?
Well, one thing that I really, really like and value about Hendrix is the value that the school places on the individual person, and the effort that goes into the numerous opportunities for all of our students here to find their fit and to find their place, between the clubs and the organizations that we have on campus, the admissions office helping you individually, your professors and your relationships with them, the academic services center and the career services center that are all there to provide a lot of one-on-one individual attention for our students, and just being committed to all the ways to develop the individual outside of just academics or just their sport. The Odyssey Project is a great example of some of those options and ways for students to explore their interests and explore things that they haven't had an opportunity to explore before. Same with our academics. We have some interdisciplinary study options where students can kind of combine some majors into their own, with professors and advisors, assistants. So I think Hendrix just really, our motto is unto the whole person. And I think we do a really good job of exhibiting that and following through on, caring about developing the whole individual person. And then second, from the program standpoint, one of the things that I really respect and appreciate the most about our program is the emphasis and the value that we put on being a family in our team. That's something that's important to Coach Tony and I as we build our team culture and just create the cohesiveness on our team and approaching that as a family. And because everyone's coming to college from all over the place, all over the world. We have a swimmer from South Africa as well. So everyone's away from their families, myself and Coach Tony included in that. So being that family away from family is something that is really important for us in how we build our team culture and how we approach building that.
Well, listening to you and to Coach Tony and Michaela, it almost made me want to, make that drive to Arkansas and see if I still got anything left in my swim tank. If one of our listeners wanted to reach out, find out more about the college, more about the swim program, scholarship, financial aid opportunities, what's the best way they can find out more?
They can fill out our questionnaire, our recruit questionnaire on the Hendrix website. So go through the Hendrix Athletics website to our swimming website, and we have a questionnaire there that they can fill out. So that'll give us all of their information as well. And then also they can email either myself or Coach Tony. And then we'll set up phone calls and communications from there to talk more about the program.
Now, one last thing, and then I'm going to turn you loose if there's anything you want to add. You mentioned to me that Hendrix has a program that can make it, these are my words, financially attractive for, people from various states to attend Arkansas if they're thinking that the cost might be prohibitive. Can you go into that just a little bit?
Sure. So one of the scholarships that Hendrix offers is called Tuition Advantage. And so that's after all the other scholarships come into play. If the tuition and fees are still at Hendrix are still higher than your state's flagship university, than the tuition and fees at your flagship university, then the Tuition Advantage scholarship will come into play to bring the tuition and fees down to the tuition and fees at your state's flagship university.
Yeah, it sounds like a great opportunity. And again, academically and athletically, sounds like Hendrix really has that's going well, but maybe the best is yet to come.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for sharing. And Coach Tony, Michaela, I know you're still there in the office, even though we can't see you. Thanks to you guys for coming on and sharing. All the best moving forward. And let's maybe do this again in the spring. You can give us an update on all things Warriors, and maybe hopefully we can drive some enrollment your way. Okay. Anything before we leave, Emily?
I don't have anything else. Okay.
No.
I think we're good.
All right. Well, thanks again. Always fun to hang out with you, Emily Daniels, a friend of the show. And, we'll see you down the road. For our listeners, reach out to Coach Tony and Emily at the Hendrix website. We also upload the Zoom videos that we record to the Educational AD Podcast YouTube channel. We appreciate you listening. Come back just about every day for new content on the Educational AD Podcast. We'll see you next time. Before we go, we do want to give our sponsors one more shout out. I'll give a shout out to Home Campus. Go to homecampus.com. Student athlete clearance and eligibility, scheduling, you name it. Go to homecampus.com. I want to thank Gipper. Gipper's our official social media graphics solution. They can be your solution too. Go to Gipper.com. Start creating world-class content for your school's social media channel. I want to say thanks to Sideline Interactive. Go to sidelineinteractive.com. Check out their interactive score tables and scoreboards. Probably one of the best purchases I ever made. Go to sidelineinteractive.com. Schedule a demo and see their products in action. Sidelineinteractive.com. We also want to thank Hometown Ticketing, a leading digital ticketing provider to schools and colleges. I don't think I need to say anything more. Go to hometownticketing.com to get started. Want to say thanks to our good friends at Snap Mobile. Go to snapraise.com/EDAD. Check out their fundraising platform as well as the rest of their platform like Snap Manage, Snap Store, and FanX. Also, new customers, you're automatically entered in their contest to win $1,500 on your next Snap Raise fundraising platform. We also want to thank Vital Signs Wall of Fame. Go to vitalsignswalloffame.com. They're on a mission to help bring your school's legacy to life. If you're looking for a really cool way to display your school record boards or your school's Hall of Fame, go to vitalsignswalloffame.com. We'd like to thank Huddle. Go to huddle.com. As a football coach, I used Huddle. As an athletic director, we were a Huddle school. So go to huddle.com. Check out all the great things that they can do for you and your program. And finally, we want to thank Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack. Go to athleticsurveys.com. Let them create a custom survey that lets you take the pulse of your parents and your student athletes. That's athleticsurveys.com. Thanks again for listening to this special episode of the Educational AD Podcast. Check out Hendrix College and Hendrix Swimming Program. And again, we appreciate you listening to the Educational AD Podcast. We'll see you next time.